What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is LaBelle, and today we need to chat because over the past couple weekend leagues, we've seen these patches, these adjustments, and the game's starting to feel a little more like FIFA 22.0. And if you agree that we need another patch, or we need a shift, or we need a swing, like this video. I cannot stress that enough because it plays into the YouTube algorithm, which notifies additional viewers, consumers, all encompassing. And personally, I feel that we're going to disagree. I'm going to give you 5 shifts that I would make within the gameplay realm. And this is why we have patches, and then a lot of people aren't aligned. So let me know, what would you change? You're the EA commissioner. You can make those adjustments. I'm going to give you my opinion, and let's see if we come together, if we parallel, or if we're going in a different direction. Because I have a theory, and we're going to find out in this video. So I have 5 changes that I would implement that would be better off for the franchise or this year's installment, in my opinion.
What's up, my beautiful people? You know we equal, man. It's dirty. Hurry, gather round. Don't you worry, hold it down. This one's going through the town. Pass it around, one, two, on the wall. Living life like it's FIFA, and I only came to bow.
I'd like to preface by saying when FIFA 21 launched, I loved the game. When this game came out, it was released best of the best, cream of the crop, which wasn't always the most popular opinion, but there were big skill gaps, very offensive, a lot of skill moves, and it benefited someone who was going to risk it for the biscuit. And I don't know about on the competitive level, but we're talking weekend league, division rivals, playing against your friends. There was not a lot of AI assistance. It was difficult. There was a very clear learning curve that was going to need to happen, mostly on the defensive end. And someone like myself, who's always been gifted with micromanaging defenders, manual maneuvers, defensive pressure, how to use team pressing, the ins and outs, the games of defending, the bait and switch, the matter of the mindsets. I take so much pride in being a clever defender, and as the titles have gone on, especially in the newer iterations, there's been a lot more AI assistance. So I will say that I might have the bias of really truly enjoying the original FIFA 21 launch title, no patches, no changes, and we definitely needed some sort of shift. If you recall, we had some bugs, we had some glitches, not everything was perfect, and that's not the argument I'm making, but I like the general direction that EA was taking with the gameplay. That brings me to point numero uno, majority versus minority. Because I just hit the realization, and I talked about this earlier, I've discussed it on the live stream, I fall into the minority. I'm looking for skill gaps. I want manual display. I want to be rewarded every time that I move a player left, I move a player right, I anticipate properly. I've got that skill move execution, but that's not the majority. I got on Reddit, I've been looking around, I've got 2 eyes. I'm seeing what's happening on social media. When the game came out, people are complaining, I need help on defense, I'm struggling on the defensive end, I can't work this out, I'm rage quitting, I'm breaking controllers. So I ask you this, what is balance and can we achieve it? It's been the same word that I've brought up over many years, and that's balancing not just the gameplay but the experience for both a casual player and a competitive player. Can we somehow bridge that gap? I'm listening. That's my first point, but the situation is, if I'm making the adjustments, then it's going to be a lot more manual. I'm going to make the game more difficult, but I don't think that plays into the larger scale or the larger picture. Number 2, AI defending, AI blocks, crowding of space. This has to be reduced. It's getting out of hand. It has to be significantly toned down. We need to create margins of error. Right now, half the time, if the defensive player does not move, it is a better decision than if he were to make a manual challenge. You don't see players tackling because it's a bigger risk to tackle than it would be to stand in that space. To just put your body in front of somebody, to hit the contain button. That does not work short-term, mid-term, or long-term. Right now, the attacking mythology is so much more complicated and intricate and needed in order to create one chance in comparison to the defensive side of the virtual pitch. They just stand still and you got a chance. You got a fighting shot. There'll be some levels of recovery. Number 3, tactics are too impactful. Tactics should assist. Tactics should influence. Tactics should improve maybe your mindset on the pitch. But right now, they play on your behalf. Team pressing locks up everyone. Drop back. I've seen the box. Overload ball side. They are far too dominant and can make a player, and then also that same player starts to rely on the tactics instead of relying on the gameplay. That is out of order. We need to shift that priority. Number 4, consistent positioning. And this is both offensively and defensively. Let me know. Do you agree or do you disagree? A big reason my gameplay feels so different match to match isn't even about about the connectivity, but sometimes the actual players aren't in the correct positions, or they're making adjustments based on my opponent's tactics, but I didn't issue those same instructions. My fullbacks stay back while attack, but sometimes they get left well up the pitch. I didn't send them on a run. What are you doing up there? The midfielders, maybe they swap with a striker, and I'm sitting here asking questions. Let me go into more depth. Let's say I'm playing a 4-4-2. Because my opponent plays more aggressive, does not mean my 4-4-2, that maybe is more defensive, should turn into a 4-2-4. But my gameplay, my player positioning will shift based on what my opponent has adjusted with his tactics or his game plan, which is not what happens in real life. Let's say you park the bus. It does not mean that my team then plays on high press. And I'm just confused with this balance. And I think there has to be some sort of patch that gives me reliable, consistent positioning so that I can count on these players and then I can adjust the personnel. And it also allows me to build confidence, which is going to be necessary. You got to be decisive offensively, defensively. The amount of matches where my players feel as if they disappear and then they show up, and they disappear and then they show up. I record my games. I review the gameplay. Often, I didn't change anything. So then I'm asking questions saying, why? If I didn't make this decision as the manager of mediocre clout, who did? Number 5, passing. Very simple. There are too many unforced errors for players that have perfect passing. I got 99 short passing. There's no one around me, and then the pass goes out of play, or it's inaccurate. That can't happen. Why am I purchasing this player? Why are we receiving inconsistency with some of the basics, the intangibles? And even more so, if you're going to have a title that is maybe more defensive, or you have players really crowding the box, I need everything to be accurate, valid. That completion rate has to be perfecto. And not that much frustrates me more than unforced error. I played many years of FIFA. I know what it's supposed to remake and replicate and what it's supposed to feel like and look like. And I will say this, to EA's defense, I'm sure they put all their resources towards next gen, which will tell us more in a couple weeks what we're really dealing with the title shift, gameplay adjustments, the smoothness, the connectivity, all encompassing. If you didn't see the squad, this is the weekend league team. Gonna have some of the more intense matchups, and the reality is I struggled. It wasn't necessarily the team, but the mix of connectivity, some of the matchups, not closing out very close games, and some of this is on me. Some of this is a mix and match in a grab bag. I didn't play any tactics that were very defensive. I didn't do the drop backs. I didn't park the bus. I didn't run back players all game, and maybe that's the mistake, but I wanted to have a certain level of integrity and principle, and I'll briefly cover the team. The back line is the most meta back line you can get. The only issue is I provided space for my opponent. They could get in behind. Firmino, Alon, center mids, decent. Could we see improvements? Yes. Rashford, Neymar up front. We're looking at 4-4-2, 4-2-2, 4-2-3-1. They were magnificent. What you would expect. Talisca, good to go. Lucas, 2 thumbs up, but I still prefer Bale. I just think I like Bale's body type, and Lucas isn't as agile or as quick as I feel as his stats actually suggest. Just my opinion. I'm not going to go into a lot of tactics or breaking down some of the instructions because I've done that in previous videos. If you enjoy everything, make sure to drop some love. I'm looking forward to the comments. Here are my intense matchups. I appreciate all of you. Please stay beautiful. He's got informed Firmino and Bruno. Oh, he caught me. Beautiful. Talisca opens up the body. No way. Come on, make contact. How does he still have this? You see what I'm saying, though? That doesn't make any sense. Oh. The NYCPD is going to be like, there's been a complaint. There's a man in a Santa suit in November. He has been breaking controllers all over New York City. Oh, thank you, Felipe Anderson. I don't understand why that works. Oh, bad touch. It's a bad touch 1, bad touch 2. I just don't understand what you would like me to do differently there. Everything was bad about that. This is kind of a scary team because it's kind of ordinary outside of the defense. Later stages, these teams sometimes end up being really, really good players. Wow. Money, not in the, or in the defense, not the offense. That's good. Ah, the full 360 spin cycle with the layoff. Nice. Beautiful goal. Beautiful build up. That's what we asked for. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Sadly, he's got the combo of Neymar and Mbappe, which is just so difficult to deal with. Let's go. Ooh, that's not good. Nice. Bro, Varane is something else. Oh, it's a pen. Nice. That's a pen. Two for two. Hate that. Why is the header so soft, man? It's just, God. Thank you. Another kickoff exchange. We love those. You give us a little, we give you something back. There we are. Come on. Well done. That was a good time team press.